Imagine a reality where your very act of looking at something changes it. That's not science fiction. It's the mysterious truth at the heart of quantum physics. Scientists discovered that the universe behaves differently when it is being observed. In experiments like the double-slit experiment, tiny particles of light or matter act like waves when no one is watching. But the moment an observer steps in, those same particles collapse into a definite state, as if they were waiting for human awareness to decide their fate. This discovery shook the foundation of classical science. It revealed that reality isn't fixed and independent. It is deeply connected to consciousness. What you observe, you influence. What you focus on, you transform. Suddenly, the boundaries between the physical world and the inner world of thought and awareness became blurred. The observer effect challenges everything we once believed about certainty, about matter, and about reality itself. It whispers a cosmic secret. You are not just living in the universe. You are co-creating it with your very attention. The observer effect forces us to question one of the deepest assumptions of human thought, that the world exists in a definite, objective state whether we look at it or not. Before quantum mechanics, science told us the universe was like a machine, predictable and indifferent to us. But experiments revealed a far stranger truth. Subatomic particles exist in a state of probability, a cloud of potential outcomes until observed. It is only when awareness enters the equation that reality chooses one version of itself. Think about that. Your attention is not passive. It is creative. This means your thoughts, your expectations, and your focus have far more power than you were ever taught. If your mind is capable of collapsing waves of possibility into reality on the smallest level, what might it be doing on the grand scale of your life? The observer effect suggests that consciousness is not separate from matter. It is woven into its very fabric. That realization changes how we see not only science, but also spirituality, manifestation, and the way we live our daily lives. Let's pause here and connect the dots to your personal life. The observer effect is not just about electrons or photons in a laboratory. It's about how your reality takes shape every single day. When you focus on fear, worry, or negativity, you collapse the possibilities of your life into more experiences that match that frequency. When you focus on gratitude, possibility, and abundance, you collapse your reality into outcomes aligned with that energy. This is why spiritual traditions, from ancient mystics to modern law-of-attraction teachers, have always emphasized the power of focus, attention, and belief. Science now confirms what sages whispered: what you look at, you shape. What you expect, you attract. And what you refuse to observe with energy fades away. The observer effect is the bridge between the laboratory and your soul. It shows you that your awareness is the most powerful creative force you have. The question is not whether you are shaping reality. The real question is, what reality are you shaping right now with your focus? The double-slit experiment is one of the most famous demonstrations of the observer effect, and it reveals something that still blows scientists' minds. When particles are not observed, they behave like waves, spreading out into many probabilities. But once they are observed, they decide to become particles in one location. It's as if nature waits for a conscious mind to take notice before settling on what it will be. That means your consciousness doesn't just sit in your head. It reaches into the quantum field of reality itself. Imagine reality as a vast ocean of potential, with countless waves of possibility rolling beneath the surface. Every thought, every intention, every observation you make is like casting a net into that ocean. You don't catch every wave. You catch the one you focus on. In this way, the observer effect is not just a quirk of physics. It's a revelation about who you are, a participant in creation. You are not just drifting through a predetermined reality. You are, in every moment, co-authoring the universe itself. This truth has the power to completely change your life. For centuries, humanity believed in separation: mind and matter, spirit and body, self and universe. But the observer effect tears down those walls. It shows us that consciousness is not just a side effect of the brain. It may be fundamental to reality itself. If your awareness can collapse infinite possibilities into one experience, then every moment of your life is a crossroad of creation. When you wake up in the morning and choose to see opportunity instead of limitation, you are literally shaping the outcomes you step into. When you decide to focus on healing, love, and growth, you bring those realities closer into form. And when you refuse to pay attention to the energies of doubt or fear, you starve those realities of the attention they need to exist. This isn't just positive thinking, it's quantum participation. You are not waiting for life to happen to you. Life is waiting for you to observe it, to shape it, to decide which version of reality you will energize with your focus. That's why the observer effect doesn't just change physics, it changes everything. Think of your mind as a projector and the universe as the screen. The observer effect tells us that the movie playing on the screen isn't fixed. It shifts depending on what the projector shines. If your projector is filled with images of failure, fear, or lack, that is the movie you'll watch unfold in your life. But when you choose to project love, gratitude, and possibility, the universe responds by arranging circumstances, people, and opportunities that reflect that energy. This isn't just philosophy. It's quantum mechanics in action. Your awareness interacts with the quantum field, collapsing certain probabilities into form. That means your future is not set in stone. It is a field of infinite potential, waiting for your conscious gaze to give it shape. Every choice you make, every belief you hold, and every thought you observe within yourself is like adjusting the lens of the projector. The clearer your focus, the clearer the reality you create. The observer effect isn't just about physics. It's a manual for life transformation. Some people ask, if reality changes when we observe it, why can't I just imagine $1 million and have it appear instantly? The answer lies in the layers of observation. It's not just your conscious thought that interacts with reality. It's your subconscious beliefs, your emotions, and your repeated focus over time. Imagine throwing a single pebble into a pond. It creates ripples, yes, but they fade quickly. Now imagine throwing pebble after pebble, wave after wave. The entire pond begins to shift. That is how your repeated focus and belief interact with the quantum field. One fleeting thought might not instantly manifest, but sustained observation, aligned with emotion and belief, can alter the very fabric of your life. This is why practices like meditation, visualization, and affirmations are so powerful. They train your awareness to hold a vibration long enough for the universe to respond. The observer effect is real, but it's not a magic trick. It's a process of aligning your conscious and unconscious observation with the reality you wish to create. The observer effect also explains why gratitude is one of the most transformative states you can cultivate. When you observe your life through the lens of gratitude, you are literally collapsing reality into a state of abundance. You are telling the universe, this is what I choose to see, this is what I energize, this is what I create. Gratitude shifts your observation from lack to plenty, from emptiness to fullness, and the quantum field responds by bringing more experiences that resonate with that frequency. On the other hand, when you constantly observe through the lens of complaint or dissatisfaction, you collapse reality into more of what you don't want. You literally trap yourself in a feedback loop of lack. This is why ancient teachings, spiritual texts, and modern neuroscience all agree gratitude rewires your brain, reprograms your perception, and reshapes your world. It is the simplest yet most profound application of the observer effect in daily life. Every thank you is not just good manners. It is a quantum command. Let's look at the spiritual dimension. Many traditions have said for thousands of years that consciousness creates reality. The observer effect gives scientific validation to these timeless truths. In Hindu philosophy, the universe is described as Maya, an illusion shaped by perception. In Buddhism, the mind is seen as the sculptor of experience. In Christianity, Jesus said, "According to your faith, be it unto you." These teachings echo one reality: what you observe with faith, belief, or focus becomes the world you live in. The observer effect is the modern scientific language for this ancient wisdom. It shows us that consciousness is not just inside us. It's a universal principle of creation. Your awareness is like a sacred key that unlocks one possibility while leaving infinite others unmanifested. When you meditate, when you pray, when you visualize, you are not simply imagining. You are collapsing probabilities into form. You are weaving your consciousness into the fabric of existence. The ancients knew it, science now proves it, and you can live it. But here's the most empowering part. The observer effect means you are never stuck. No matter what your past has been, no matter what reality you've observed until now, the field of potential remains infinite. Every new moment is a chance to collapse a different possibility. You might have lived years observing pain, lack, or limitation, but the moment you shift your focus, you step into a new version of reality. Think of it like tuning a radio. The station you hear depends on the frequency you focus on. If you don't like the song, you don't smash the radio. You simply turn the dial. In the same way, if you don't like your reality, you don't have to stay trapped in it. You can change the channel of your focus, your observation, your consciousness. And when you do, the universe responds. The observer effect says your life is not a prison. It is a field of possibilities. Your freedom lies in what you choose to observe next. The observer effect also shows us why fear can be so destructive. Fear is simply focused observation on what you don't want. When you dwell on fear, when you replay worst-case scenarios in your mind, you are feeding energy into those possibilities. You are collapsing reality into states of anxiety, limitation, and struggle. This doesn't mean you instantly manifest everything you fear, but it does mean that constant observation of fear shapes your life experience. Fear narrows your vision. It makes you blind to opportunities, blind to solutions, blind to the infinite possibilities that exist. On the other hand, when you shift from fear to faith, from worry to trust, you open yourself back up to the vast quantum field of potential. Faith is observation of a different kind. It is focusing on what you cannot yet see but choosing to energize it as real. That is why courage, trust, and belief are not just emotional states. They are quantum strategies. They direct your consciousness toward realities that empower you instead of imprisoning you. Think about relationships through the lens of the observer effect. When you expect people to betray you, disappoint you, or hurt you, you unconsciously collapse reality into experiences that confirm that belief. You filter every interaction through suspicion, and your energy attracts situations that mirror your expectations. But when you choose to observe others through the lens of love, trust, and possibility, you collapse a different version of reality. People rise to the level of your expectation. Your relationships begin to reflect the energy you put into them. This is not manipulation. It's resonance. Your consciousness sets the frequency, and reality responds in kind. That means every relationship in your life, romantic, family, professional, is not just happening to you. It is being shaped by what you choose to observe and expect. The observer effect teaches us that love is not just a feeling. It is a powerful act of observation that reshapes how others show up in your world. Now let's talk about abundance. Money, success, and opportunity are often thought of as things out there in the world, but the observer effect reveals they are deeply connected to what you observe here, within your consciousness. If you constantly observe scarcity, lack, and limitation, you collapse those realities into your life. You notice only closed doors, missed chances, and reasons why you cannot succeed. But if you shift your observation toward possibility, wealth, and abundance, you begin to collapse realities that reflect those states. You see opportunities where others see problems. You attract connections that align with your vision. You take actions inspired by trust instead of fear. The money doesn't magically fall from the sky. It flows through channels that open when your observation aligns with abundance. The observer effect reminds us that prosperity begins not in the bank account, but in the mind. Wealth is not something you chase. It is something you collapse into being through focused observation. Healing is another powerful dimension of the observer effect. Studies in medicine have shown the placebo effect, where patients improve simply because they believe they are receiving treatment, even when they are not. This is the observer effect at work in the human body. Your belief, your focused observation of wellness, can trigger real biological changes. Cells respond to consciousness. Healing is not only a physical process, it is also a conscious one. When you observe your body with frustration, self-hate, or fear, you collapse realities of stress and disease. But when you observe your body with love, gratitude, and trust, you collapse realities of healing, resilience, and vitality. This doesn't mean you should ignore medical science. It means you should align it with the power of your observation. Combine treatment with belief. Combine medicine with mindset. When you see yourself as whole, your body responds. The observer effect teaches us that every cell listens to the voice of your consciousness. The observer effect even explains why some people seem lucky, while others always struggle. Luck is not random. It is a reflection of where attention goes. Those who constantly observe life as a hostile, unfair struggle collapse realities that confirm that worldview. But those who observe life as full of opportunities, blessings, and synchronicities collapse realities that align with those beliefs. They notice doors opening where others see walls. They meet people, by chance, who connect them to new paths. They attract situations that look like coincidences, but are actually the result of their focused observation aligning with the field of possibility. This doesn't mean life is always easy, but it does mean that reality bends toward the lens you choose to look through. If you want to change your luck, change your observation. Focus not on what is against you, but on what is for you. The universe doesn't play favorites. It simply reflects what you observe most consistently. The observer effect also challenges the way we think about time. Most of us see the past, present, and future as fixed and separate. But quantum physics suggests that reality exists in probabilities until observed, meaning your future is not locked. It is fluid. Every moment you spend worrying about what could go wrong collapses certain negative futures into greater likelihood. Every moment you spend visualizing what could go right energizes those futures instead. Your observation in the present reaches forward into time and influences what comes next. This is why so many spiritual practices emphasize visualization, not as fantasy, but as a way to energetically choose your timeline. You are not walking into a future that has already been written. You are co-writing it with every act of attention. The observer effect says the future is not waiting to be discovered. It is waiting to be observed. Now, let's talk about your purpose. Many people feel lost, as if life has no meaning, as if they are powerless against fate. But the observer effect shows otherwise. You were not placed here to be a passive spectator. You were placed here as an observer, and with observation comes creation. Your purpose is not something you must desperately search for out there. It is something you energize through conscious observation. In here. When you choose to observe life through curiosity, service, love, and growth, you collapse realities that reflect that purpose. Suddenly, meaning begins to reveal itself. Opportunities appear that align with your unique gifts. The universe responds as if it has been waiting all along for you to notice your role in the grand design. The observer effect means you are not here by accident. You are here as a conscious participant in the unfolding of reality. Your purpose is to observe in a way that creates the highest version of yourself, and, in doing so, lift the world with you. This is also why meditation is so powerful. In meditation, you train your mind to shift from unconscious observation to conscious observation. Normally, the mind is scattered, observing stress, noise, and distraction, and reality reflects that chaos. But in meditation, you center your awareness. You observe silence, peace, and presence. That observation alone begins to collapse a new kind of reality, one that is calm, focused, and aligned. Neuroscience shows that meditation rewires the brain, changing the very structure of how you perceive and respond to the world. Quantum physics suggests why you are changing what you observe, and therefore, what reality responds to. Meditation is not an escape from life, it is a rehearsal for life. It teaches you to stop letting unconscious thoughts collapse unwanted realities, and instead consciously choose where to place your awareness. Through meditation, you take back your creative power as an observer and begin shaping a reality of clarity, love, and wisdom. One of the most revolutionary implications of the observer effect is this: you are never separate from the universe. The old worldview painted humanity as tiny beings in a vast, indifferent cosmos, but quantum mechanics shows that your observation literally interacts with the field of existence. That means you are not small. You are not powerless. You are an inseparable part of the universe's creative process. The stars, the galaxies, the atoms, all of it responds to the same laws. Observation shapes reality. This means your life is not meaningless. It is cosmic. Every choice you make, every focus you hold, is part of the universe experiencing itself through you. Spiritual teachers have long said, "You are the universe in human form." The observer effect gives that statement scientific weight. You are not in the universe. You are of the universe. And the universe is watching itself through your eyes. So what does this all mean for you today, right now? It means that every moment is an invitation to choose what you will observe and, therefore, what you will create. The observer effect changes everything because it removes the illusion of helplessness. You are not a victim of random chance. You are a conscious participant in shaping reality. Every thought you energize, every belief you hold, every lens you choose determines the version of reality you collapse into. This is why awareness is the greatest superpower you will ever have. If you want to change your life, change what you consistently observe. Focus on love, and love expands. Focus on abundance, and abundance grows. Focus on healing, and healing unfolds. The observer effect is not just a principle of physics, it is a principle of life. And when you truly understand it, you realize that you don't just live in the universe. The universe lives through you. This is why the observer effect changes everything.